2023 Kia Forte. So I was trying to record a difference to see if this compressor would change under idle or cruise RPMs. And right here, let's see if you can focus in, 42.2 degrees. That was at idle. And let's see if our Apple, there we go, 42 at 4. Now I'm stepping on the throttle and I have it at 15. Well, I had it at 19, but I just took my eyes off the camera and off the RPMs. Come on, steady. I was trying to get around 1900 RPMs, just under 2, like we're cruising down the street. Okay, right about there. There we go. We're about 1900 RPMs, and that's where I've been holding it for the last 2 minutes. And as you can see, from minute 6 going to 8, 9, 10, right here from about minute 9, right about where you see that dip. So we have 42 degrees there. We got 42 degrees there. That's idle. That's 1900 RPMs. Let's go back and look at how our pressures are doing. This is idle, 33.7 psi, 1900 RPMs, 33.5 psi. What's the difference? When you give the RPMs up to the compressor that's being driven by a belt, isn't pressure supposed to change? Well, let's look at our high side pressure. 112 psi, 115 psi, idle, 1900 RPMs. So this is what happens when the computer takes over with sensors changing things. For the guys who think that you raise the RPMs, the low side section is going to go down, the temperature is going to change, and you're going to shake off the can and it's going to go in any faster. No, not on these new cars. Rules of thumb, we cut off your thumb if you try to use rules of thumb. That I'll keep it polite. That stuff doesn't apply here. All right. What else? Let's get back to idle and we'll see a little jump. I just took my foot off. You can see it's back down in the idle, about 750 RPMs. And look at that little tiny, let's see if I can see that little tiny glitch right there. See that little blip? That was me dropping my foot from 1900 RPMs to idle. Now let's go back to, let's look at our temperature. Let's see what it did. Right, just vaguely, you can see a little bit of difference. That little bump up, that little itty bitty right there, that was it going back to idle. 42, 42.6. That's all. So what are you going to do with your foot on a throttle by using the rule of thumb that you're going to change some pressures or temperatures? You're not going to do nothing. You're peeing in the wind, to put it more politely. Superheat, subcooling. Let's take a look at this one. You cannot use a rule of thumb comparing this vehicle under these conditions to any other vehicle. Look at, these are almost dead even on this vehicle. It's like they're following, they're hugging each other. 10 and 10, 10 and 10, 11 and 11, going back and forth. But other vehicles, haven't you seen this at 30? You've seen this at 0. You've seen this at 50. Because on those vehicles, that was normal. You've seen subcooling at 7, at 3, at 12, at 27, at 37, or 47 on different vehicles at different times. There is no rule of thumb. You need to get to know your vehicles that you work on because they change from manufacturer to manufacturer. It's experience because the manufacturers do not give this information out. They might give you an old chart, and often the OEM manufacturers will keep relisting the same pressure temperature chart through multiple lines and models of vehicles. They have completely different operating conditions nowadays, but they're still reprinting from print about air conditioning pressure temperature relationship from 10 years ago, from 20 years ago. And guys are going, but the factory manual says this. Do something with that factory manual page. Rip it out, go to the bathroom and wipe your butt with it, because often that's all it's worth. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. The problem is you never know when they're giving you the right information and the wrong information. All right, guys, catch you until next time. And remember, if it's a really bad aftermarket condenser somebody put on before it comes into your shop, you may be in a world of hurt trying to diagnose that car and you don't even know it. See you guys.